It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on the West Coast and 10 p.m. on the East. It's Mauricio Mejia Live, bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live, every Wednesday on Facebook and YouTube. It's Mauricio Mejia Live.
Oh, yes. I want to welcome everyone today. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's Mauricio Mejia Live, episode 22. And I want to welcome everyone that's going to join us. And we're going to give everyone a few minutes. Please make sure to drop a comment on where you're at. I'm broadcasting live from downtown San Jose, Silicon Valley, the heart of the Silicon Valley. Right behind me, I'm actually broadcasting live from my living room today. And I did that for a purpose, just to show how much smoke is in the air right now. Today was just completely red. It was a red sky the entire day. You couldn't see the streets behind me. The buildings were just crazy. So, I want to send out my prayers to everybody that's out there, to all the firefighters that are fighting our fires. My prayers, my heart, everything is out there to make sure that you guys are staying strong, healthy, and well hydrated during these times, and fighting these battles and trying to keep us safe from any destruction. So, to all the fighters throughout California, because California is burning. Literally, it is burning right now. And, we won't even go into my thought process of why I think about all of this, but we just got to we need to become a little bit more careful and more aware of our surroundings. But again, I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight, episode 22. Wow. That means 22 weeks ago, before it was already 10 weeks into the quarantine, or 2 weeks into the quarantine, that I started Mauricio Mejia Live, because I was wondering, I knew that this was going to take longer, and I needed to keep my sanity and connections with all of you that are out there. Again, thank you everyone that's logging on. We are broadcasting live around the world. Mauricio Mejia on the channels, on my YouTube channels, and then we rebroadcast on all of our other different platforms. So I just want to say thank you again for all the support and love that I've been getting regarding the show. So we got a lot of great talent that's coming up. I know people ask, hey, Mauricio, why do you do this? And I say, I've been an entrepreneur since I was a kid, self-made, started at 15 with my first business in Southern California, growing up in Los Angeles. I always tell people I was born in San Francisco. Literally, my sister, when she would turn 3 years, or when she was born, I was 3 years old. My mom moved us to Southern California, to Los Angeles, to a city called Highland Park, right in one of the hoods of LA. And we never came back home. It was just LA became home for both my sister and I and my mom. And then I ended up moving to the Bay Area in 1993, 94. So I tell people, born in San Francisco, raised in Los Angeles, educated here in the Silicon Valley. So I got the best of all worlds in one. So I'm excited to be here with you to share my story. So again, Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East. And you can catch me on my YouTube channel, or you can also visit us on Latin Live as well. So tonight, I'm very honored to have a very special guest. Not only a guest, but he's a friend. He's an industry colleague. He's an amazing human being. Has always been a team player. I've known him. Wow, it's been 10 plus years, easy. I think we're actually going 15 plus years. When I used to run the vault, and at the same time I started my Detox Sundays pool party, I would have Morris Knight, aka Morrison, used to come out and perform when he was a house music singer. And I don't want to give out too much because I want to leave it for conversation. But Morris Knight is not only a radio personality, a TV personality, a singer, songwriter, and musician, but he's just an amazing human being that has a big heart. And when you hear us tonight, you see us interact, it's like we're homies, man. We're brothers from another mother. So with all that said, I don't want to take too much time on this introduction because I want to bring him on board. I want to welcome my friend Morris Knight.
Party
Morris,
people!
what's up? What's up? What's up? Oh man! Hey, really quick.
Keep it deep. Keep it deep.
We got to keep it deep, man. We got to keep it. So I want to say quick shout out. We got my girl Nancy Cheravidia in the house. I always chop up her last name. She's got a complicated one. We got Elaine De La Cruz in the house. Old school right there.
Girl.
We got Dre Gomez in the house. And if you guys leave your comments, make sure to let us know what city you're from. Morris, man, it's been I'm used to calling you Morrison. But Morris that's the OG. Man, it's been a long time, and I just want to say thank you for making the time to be on my show. I was just talking with you backstage and talking about how I always wanted to be like you guys on the radio. But since I didn't get my shot, I just said, you know what, I'll just create my own show and we'll just take it from there and see where it goes, man. So thank you for taking some time, man, and being here with me tonight.
Dude, it's awesome. It's my pleasure. I just wonder though, Mauricio, you and I go way back, like you say, 10 plus, maybe even 15 years. And I love this show that you have, the Mauricio Mejia live show. I just got to say though, man, as happy as I am and proud as I am of you and for you for starting this whole thing, man, this is episode 22, bro. Like, 22. Why am I the 22nd guest?
Actually, double twos are good numbers. It's good luck. So
okay. That's how he rolls. He just slides that right over.
Yeah, I have to, bro. I have to be ready because I almost, I got to be ready for those kind of hits. I'm like, well, no, 22. Those are lucky numbers. 2, and if we would have had, and if you want to use like the 20 in there, so 22, 9 of 20, bro, we'll start getting a miracle over here. Oh no, it's interesting because I had the same thing. I had Billy Vidal on here, and he goes, "Why did it take you 8 shows to get me on the show?" And I'm like, "Bro, I just wanted to make sure that I warmed up the wheels before I got you on here. I don't want to embarrass you. It's not about me. It's about you. I want to make sure that I want to make
this effort.
I gotta make sure the experience is well for you. It's not about me, guys. I'm just trying to, I gotta make it happen. So
yeah, right on.
But man, I just again. Excited that you're here with me. You've had an interesting career path, and I'm going to take you way back to when I first met you, and you were doing your house music. And by the way, all your tracks were amazing. I know that when it was you, and then it was with Julius Pap, right?
That's right.
There was a combo.
Yeah.
And Julius, don't worry, you'll be on the show eventually. Just I had to get the real star on before you. See how I gotta stir it up a little bit, so then when he gets on, because someone is gonna soundbite it and someone's gonna say, "Hey, did you hear what Mauricio said about you?" So
right.
Anyway, no, man, it's been an amazing journey, and to have you as a guest at my events was interesting because at that time, let's see, 2007, you were on another radio station, and I don't want to mess that one up, but I'm going to say that it was Kiss FM, but I don't think
that's
Kiss
exactly
FM.
Right. That's
Damn,
exactly
I'm
right.
good.
We go back that far. Far. I was doing afternoon drive there at 98.1 Kiss FM when that's what they were back then, and I was moonlighting, if you will, as a house music singer, putting out tracks and stuff, and it actually started with a more disco house, high energy type of song that I was doing called "Love of My Life" back then. And dude, it was St. John. It was St. John and his whole House Nation crew. St. John. It was DJ Hope. It was don't forget this guy's name. It was Jose Melendez, of course, legendary Jose. Oh my God.
I'm gonna touch base on that one really quick on House Nation because I've known St. John since he lived in Los Angeles.
Oh, right on.
There was a whole crew of us when we all started actually through the first House Nation party in San Jose. It was an all ages party, and part of that creation was myself, David Garcia, and St. John. I don't remember if there was another person, but that's where we all kind of started. I mean, there was a lot of other transformations of house music. Before that, there was Nocturnal Transmission.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep. And then I'm not sure if did a St. John's Playhouse, and then we went to House Nation. But at that time, radio was just crazy, dude. So
it was a great time, man. It was a great time because it was during that time that radio was quite a bit different than it is nowadays, man. And so people who got to break out and discover new music. Like I said, like St. John and Leslie Perez. I don't know
That's
if
right.
you get him. All these guys, man, that were already this huge machine when it came to discovering underground house music and bringing it to radio. And it was weird because I was in radio, but I really had no context before I met those guys. I was just a radio guy, but I was doing my own little house tracks on the side, and it was St. John who first put me on, dude, and really brought this thing to another level for me. It was because I had known St. John and the exposure that I got from him, that I ended up finding out about Julius Papp. So that's the actual order of things. So it started with St. John and the whole House Nation crew, and then Julius found out about me, and then took me to just the stratosphere, really.
Yeah, took you into the underground scene, man.
The underground and around the world.
Yes.
With the likes of Julius Papp and DJ MFR and Vincent Kwok. Dude, I literally went around the world with these guys. Literally around the world. I'm like, what in the world is going on? From doing parties at Second Sunday parties at Mission Rock. And doing parties in LA and Miami. And then, next thing you know, dude, I'm at the vault, with Mr. Mauricio Mejia and the detox parties, and not just one time, man, but dude, every time you brought me out there, dude, it was a different scene, and it was a great scene. And dude, it just, it was the closest that I ever came to this is going to sound corny, but it's just the way I feel. To feel like a rock star, man. That whole everyone in that scene, and yourself included, especially you, man. I mean, you were putting cash in my pocket, bro.
Oh, hey, we wanted to. We were all making money. We all needed to break bread with people, and it's just crazy when you reflect back and you think about where we're at today, and we'll talk about that. But it's just when we look at those great days. And plus, we're obviously we're a lot wiser now. I'm not going to say older, but wiser. We're not doing the same things that we were doing in the past. We've graduated to different levels. So the party scene for us is a lot different than it was back then. I mean, you're talking about early 2000s, or actually, early 2000s, because I opened up the vault in 2004. Okay. And then I did the detox in 2007.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's crazy because 2017 was my 10-year anniversary where we did the last detox, and just crazy, man. We're just, the time flies, and where we're at. But so we go back. You're at Kiss FM. You're doing radio.
Yep, doing radio. And some I just started with Coffee TV at that time as well. So I was doing
I was waiting for that one to come in. Actually, I got to bring that one up because my girl Amy Escobar, she wanted to tease you. She's like, make sure you bring up Coffee TV 20, the 80s dance party. I was gonna pull some pictures down, and I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go hard on him on that one.
Well, that's real family for you. They don't care.
Hey, I was just, I remember when I came across that channel by accident. I'm like, what? Like, that's Morrison right now. Wait, no, that's more. What am I watching? And then I just got glued to the damn show. I was like, this shit is so cheesy. I'm like, I couldn't tune out of it because it was just like, what? Like, where did these characters come from? And then some of them were just like way into character. Like they thought they started doing the robot and shit. Like,
oh yeah.
And I was like, oh hell no, she did the robot.
It's so funny, man, because that's what I always say to people. It's the TV show that you watch literally like this. You keep you've got the remote control in your hand. You're trying to turn away, but you can't.
No,
you're like, no, they didn't do that.
No.
Not wearing that. No, he didn't just say that.
No, I'm like, so ratings. I mean, you don't want to change the channel. You're just like, oh wait, right. No. The only time you change channels when the commercial came out because you wanted to scan what everything else was going on, and then you're like, oh, I want to catch up. Like, what else is going to happen on this show? Because I'm telling you, that shit was off the charts, man. Look, she right here. She just dropped a comment. I'm here for the dance party on Coffee TV 20. Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you, I was like. And then the DJ, she was off the hook too, because you guys just played right off of each other. I'm like, oh, they're both in cahoots, man. I'm like,
what's crazy about that, Mauricio, what's crazy about that is that that's DJ Katie. She also does radio here in the Bay Area. She does mornings on a talk radio station. And so I had already been doing Coffee TV, but just doing the hosting stuff, the interview segments between the shows and stuff. So then they tell me that they want me to host. They're bringing Dance Party back. I guess it was a big TV show in the 90s and with Jim Gabbard. And I wasn't in the Bay Area at that time, so I wasn't that familiar with it. Although I was aware of it. I didn't see many episodes of it because at the time I think it was in Sacramento in the Sacramento or Stockton.
You look like you were the executive producer of that show, bro. I don't know, man. You were just on point.
The executive producer would have been Craig Coane at that time, and the director Mark Baker, who's an awesome guy. Those guys had their hands full between DJ Katie and I. But what was great about it is that I had never met or worked with DJ Katie before in my life. Didn't know this person at all. We met literally a week before during the very first dress rehearsal of the show. And so we didn't know if we were going to get along. We didn't know if we were going to have a vibe, a chemistry, and she's a bit younger than me too. So there's an age thing, there's a culture thing, all that going on. And dude, I mean, you want to talk about like two people who just came together, who work together like we've known each other and been best friends for decades, for years. She is such a freaking pro, dude. I mean, I would definitely go so far as to say that I could not have done that show the way that I did it without DJ Katie, because she was really talented and really good at handling a lot of the technical business that we had to do. Hey, I'm the party dude. I can get the party going. I can, play off of people and do all that sort of thing. But, there was some business that had to be taken care of too, learning like full pages of copy when it came to sponsorships and stuff.
Wow.
And she would take one look at the sales copy or whatever it was, man, and have it locked in her head and be able to rattle that stuff off. Still DJing, still being a party person, and playing off me. And it was like one of the best working relationships with anyone I've ever had in my radio/TV career. I gotta give much love to DJ Katie doing that.
No, she's awesome, man. She man, you guys were like the dynamic duo. I was like, what the hell? They casted this thing right, except I'm like, and then for a minute, and then my girl, she's watching, Amy. She's like, oh, we've both watched that show more than once, so she's outing me out right now. Yeah, man, I was like, I'd watched that show. I'm like, are you serious? Like how long has this show been going on for? Now, look, I'm not knocking it because you know what? At the end of the day, I grew up when there was the Soul. What was it? Soul Train.
Soul Train, American Bandstand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not something that's reinvented. I mean, this is something that was happening. It's just a different era, different time, and it was just interesting to see. Like, whoa, we're like, and then of course, you're playing '80s music, so the cost or the clothing that everybody was wearing didn't fit right with with 2000s. We're going way back.
Get with the leotards, man.
Yeah, no, man, the leg warmers, the Aquanet hairdos. I mean, it was on like Donkey Kong. Like Aquanet should have been sponsoring that show for sure, man.
Yeah,
or that rave hairspray from back in the day, man. But no, man. Hey, again, if you got to do what you got to do, and if those are opportunities, take it. And so it's kind of so you got Kiss FM, you're doing radio, you got Coffee TV 20, your dance party show. That is now obviously right now with COVID, there's none of it happening, but that show was still going on pre-COVID, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, it's actually
yeah.
still, I mean, they're still running reruns.
Right.
I think Dance Party has not been on the air since when DJ Katie and I were recording new episodes, and thanks to COVID, we haven't recorded any new episodes in quite some time. Even before COVID, we hadn't recorded any new episodes. The thing was, in that period of time when we recorded so many episodes, dude, that we were running. We can run these reruns, and people barely know that they've seen that before because we recorded just so many episodes of the show. It was a great little run, dude. I mean, and I guess it was work. It was more fun than anything, dude. And you want to talk about
I'm going on the show, man. I'm on that show when it comes back.
Dude,
I'm gonna go in like,
why weren't you there?
hey, I'm gonna come in straight up with like my risky business. I'm gonna come in like risky business, like with the Ray-Bans, the white dress shirt.
There you
Oh,
go.
dude, I'm coming in hard, man. I'm gonna represent. Hey, if I don't become famous on my own show, I'm gonna become famous on your show, man. I'm gonna be giving you. Yeah, I want to give a shout out and thank to my boy Morris Knight for making me a star now. It's gonna be one of those like Dolite. What is it? That Eddie Murphy, the Dolite. Did you see that? Dolomite. You know, that movie actually made me cry because I understood the pain and the suffering that he went through
trying to do another.
You know, everything is about giving it your 100 and really going through the last week I had Mia Moore on the show.
I saw that. She's awesome, by the way.
Oh man, I love her, and we're now BFFs now, and I didn't know that she was from El Salvador until like the week of, and I'm like, and then she busts me out on the show. She says like, I knew you from the Boss Entertainment days. I was 16.
Know where she was gonna go with that.
No. Man, she started saying like, I knew you when I was 16, and I was like, no, you didn't. I was like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. I don't remember you being. Nope, that's the wrong Mauricio. No, I remember all your boys and this and that. I'm like, nope, no.
We're just like, it ain't mine. It ain't mine.
No. And then I was like, oh man, where is she going with this? And then, but Mia Moore, if you're out there watching, thank you for having an amazing show last week with me, and I look forward to doing more things with her. So she was amazing. But the point of where I was going is that she talked about her. Her struggles and what it took to get into radio. Yeah. What did it take for you to get into radio? Because you got Kiss FM is not your only radio station you've been on. You've been blessed to be on many stations and share your voice, your personality, but how did you get your first break? Because
I blessed in kind of a different way, Mauricio. I mean, real talk, man. Unlike a lot of DJs out there, I was one of those guys that actually have not worked at a lot of radio stations. And I'm blessed in that the few radio stations that I've worked for, I got to work there for a long, long time. I started off in 1990, dude. This is my 30th summer in radio in Sacramento at an alternative rock station called Quad 106.5. They are now defunct now, but that it was an alternative rock station, and I loved it. So we're playing like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nirvana had just exploded on the scene, Depeche Mode, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees. I mean, you name it. Jesus Jones, The Laws. It just goes on and on and on.
Oh, you just gave me chills because that reminds me of KROQ, K-Rock down in Los Angeles. Because that's what I was listening to was K-Rock. So it was
great stuff. So I started there in the summer of 1990. Worked my way up from literally just doing I was the night guy's intern. So back in the day when you had to pull carts and CDs and stack them up with the DJ and get the commercials all ready and splicing tape. I was that guy and driving the quad van around, and giving away CD 6-packs and whatnot. That was me, and I was thrilled to do it because before my radio career, I wasn't good at anything else. I mean, I'm the one guy that you ever know that could literally get fired from a place like McDonald's, and that happened.
Oh,
that's
man.
a bad story. I'm not going to go into that, but it wasn't.
How do you get fired from McDonald's, bro? Like, that just reminded me of that Kate Williams. Have you seen that I'm going to send you that where he does the every day I'm hustling, right? And then he's got that little skit, and then he does the McDonald's one. He's like starts doing the fries and the flipping.
Right.
Bro, how do you fuck that one up? Man.
You know what? I don't want to negatively influence the youth. So
no, we're good. We'll post that story.
I'll just say, you know what? You got to go with the customer's always right, even if the customer is wrong. Man, you know what? It's a stinking Big Mac, dude. It ain't worth the gig. It ain't worth the gig. So no matter what they do in the drive-through, no matter how rude people are being to you, when you're in the customer service realm, you do what you can to handle your customer. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a lot easier on everyone if you just just chalk this one off, take the L, and keep him pushing. No big deal. So anyway, I started
just like radio, man. Just like radio, you gotta have that. You know,
you just gotta let it slide, you know.
you always have that one caller that keeps blowing you up. Am I winning? Did I win? Did I win?
Right,
You're like,
right.
no, trust. I worked phones, man. I know what's up. I worked phones for St. John. I worked phones.
Okay, you know what's up.
Yeah, I interned when it was at Wild 107, man. Trust me.
Wow.
Pulling carts. I would watch St. John do production.
You know about it.
Cutting. Oh yeah, man. Actually, he was one of my inspirations in why I like to have a certain look for my production,
There you go.
sound,
Yeah.
compressed voice. Yeah. Yeah, he
Stop.
taught me a lot of stuff. I mean, he's one of the gurus of he is the guru
He
of
really is.
production, and his voice is on across many stations across the United States. So,
That's right.
but again, why does that happen? And we're gonna go back to it: hard work, dedication, consistency, and then getting a break. You know, you got your
Yeah.
break in radio. So
Yeah, you know, from Quad, I went to Stockton, California to do overnights, actually full-time overnights at 97.7 KWIN, and I was there doing that for about a year. Then I moved up to middays, and I did that for another 4 years. In the summer of '97, long story short, a guy named Lance Walden had something to do with my contacting or getting in contact with, or a good word being put in for me to Michael Erickson, dude. And you know who that he
old
is.
school legend right there.
Michael Erickson. And you know, I had always heard of Michael Erickson from his KSOL days and stuff, and then of course his KMEL days. And I couldn't believe that that Lance had put me in touch with Michael Erickson and thought that I might be good for this new old school station that Michael Erickson was about to launch. And I had no idea about any of this. He just told me, send the guy your tape. And I did. And next thing you know, dude, I'm sitting in Michael Erickson's office. Like, you got to be kidding me. Dude, back in the day, you got to remember, you know, it really, the Bay Area radio scene went to a whole new level when you had these two power mixers doing their thing. You had Michael Erickson and Cameron Paul. Just
Yep.
killing it, dude. I
was just gonna say, Michael Erickson used to do the lunchtime mix on Kiss FM. Yeah,
that's right.
Hands down, his mixes were probably for my opinion, in my opinion, they were the best mixes for during that time and the lunchtime, because I coming from Los Angeles. Power 106 was the station that I listened to, and the power mixers on Power were fucking insane. I mean, it was just like, and then Michael Erickson had that like flavor. Yeah. And the only other person that reminded, because I was not around when Cameron Paul was at his peak, but was Michael Martin. I'll tell you right now, Michael Martin, his DJ name was Loco Eminem, and not a lot of people know that, but I know that, so I'm throwing it out there.
Michael, you call for Michael Martin.
Yeah, no, Michael Martin's gonna be like, Mauricio, stop telling that story. I'm like, no, dude, you didn't give me my break on radio, so now I'm gonna bust you out, buddy. You know,
Michael, I got nothing to do with that. I have nothing to do with that.
I love Michael. I want, you know, so one of my dreams I wanted to always be a promotion director for a radio station, because that was my passion, marketing and promotions. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's so second best to me was, or not even second best. What was always in my blood was nightclubs. So I just took my energy and focused on nightclubs, and then I just dominated. I mean, coming from LA, from the nightclub scene, and being at Power, and then coming here, and then learning from here, and then dominating the nightlife scene. It was just one of those things that, all right, I'll be my own promotion director. I'll be my own program director. I'll be my own music director. I'll be my own general manager, all in one at a nightclub, because we broke music, we programmed music, and I knew which were the hitters in a short period of time, because we were in the business to make people have a good time and make a lot of money at the bar. So yeah, kind of like radio programming. I mean, you're playing music, you're programming music, and that lunchtime mix has to be on point, because you know you want to keep those office listeners listening during that lunch break, man. Yeah, so I was paying attention. I love it.
Man. Yes, you were. Yeah. So you know, coming on with Michael Erickson, and it was a whirlwind, dude. It was like something that I'd never experienced before, and then all of a sudden just being thrust into people who I always looked up to. You know, again, just coming from Sacramento at Quad, and then from KWIN in Stockton, and next thing you know, now I'm working with Michael Erickson and Lisa St. Regis and Rennell. Dude, are you kidding me? Are you for real? Dude, I'm from Stockton. I mean, I literally showed up in San Francisco wearing overalls, right? Overalls and Doc Martin boots, right? Dude, I'm like a cow hick or something like that. And next thing you know,
brother,
I'm cruising across the Bay Bridge, dude. And at the time, Kiss was off of Broadway and Battery. So that's what I'm driving into. If you know anything about Stockton, it's nothing like any part of the Bay Area. You see like the main drag, Pacific Avenue, and next thing you know, I'm cruising down in Embarcadero, dude, going to work with Cornell and Michael and Lisa, and dude, it was mind blowing, dude. It was absolutely mind blowing, and what a ride that was. Working with Michael for 10 years until he left, and then then he went to Texas, and then sadly passed away, but. Continuing to work with great people like my man Tony Sandoval. He's like a brother to me, bro. He's been there, I think, like a year less than I was there, and the next 10 years working at KISS, and then it eventually, went away, became The Breeze. I went to iHeart 80s at 103.7, being treated very, very well and very fairly with everyone there, dude. I gotta recognize people that I worked there with, man. Ricky Filiar was my PD there, all the way up until the very end for me, which is just earlier this year. And that was a day that sucked. But dude, I just as earth shattering as that was when I got the news that they were gonna move on and I wasn't gonna be going along for the ride. As hurt as I was, dude, it was hard for me to be mad at anything, at any company, at anyone, because I was there for 22 years.
Right.
I don't think you get to do something like that in radio for 22 years if you're around a bunch of people who are jerks, and if you're around a bunch of people who think you're a jerk. I think the relationship is quite symbiotic, and as a devastating blow as that was, dude, when I got let go, still, man, I have friends up in that building, dude, that are family to me. Tony and Carolyn McArdle and Ramona Gutierrez and Elaine de la Cruz, man. That's my girl. We actually did the Morris Night Zone just before, like the last 6 months I was there. We had to do these podcasts. And I wasn't really thrilled on that idea, but it was Ramona who told me, you know what, you ought to hit up Elaine because you guys already hang out in the studio more than you should anyway. And I was like, what? And that was true, because Elaine and I would just have these conversations, and they were like deep, and they were like funny, and they were like serious, and they were just like, we do this just stopping each other in the hall. Like Elaine and I would probably try to avoid each other if we had other things to do, because we couldn't just walk through the halls of iHeart and just, hey, what's up, Elaine? Hey, what's up, Morris? And keep rolling. That's a 10-minute conversation right there. Boom. So I ended up doing the Morris Night Zone podcast with Elaine, and so just an awesome person to work with there. And I worked with a lot of great people there, and feel very blessed even to this day. Even though I haven't landed a full-time radio thing now, I'm in a new place, a great place. I'm very happy to be with this new company, new to me, Bonneville, doing weekends now.
They've been around for a while. I remember Bonneville.
I'm in good hands, man. Everyone, even people that I used to work with, are like, dude, if you, it sucked that that you got let go from iHeart, but what a place to end up. And so I think the blessings are still on the way, man, and I'm looking forward to them. This whole COVID thing has got everybody slowed down and whatnot, so things aren't happening as quick as I'd like them to happen, and that doesn't bode well for my adult ADD. I can't just sit here.
I'm going through the same shit, by the way. We got a couple people that have jumped in here. I want to Peyton Raymond, what's up? Peyton in the house. Peyton's in here.
Is my man. Peyton went around the world with me too, man. I mean, that guy was very influential in my Soulful House music career as well. In fact, he was one of the guys that were nudging me on, dude, you really ought to check out this deep Soulful House. In fact, like one of the first Soulful House records I ever got was a gift, from Peyton. So thank you very much, P.
Payne in the house, I think he's still in radio. I mean, some people are they're still doing it in radio.
We're counting money. That dude's rich. Yeah. I know he is.
We're going to lunch or dinner on Peyton in the house. We got Krista Kutz that just joined us too. Krista, what's up?
Girl.
Chris is like my big sister, man. I swear I love her. She's always been a supporter of mine and just always encouraged me and just was an amazing human. Well, is an amazing human being.
Yeah.
And with the last time we saw each other, we had drinks. It was her, St. John, and I. And I got
Where was
hammered.
I?
I don't know.
Where was I?
Yeah, I know. Blame it on Krista. It was her party. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
See how quick I got it. I got out of that one real quick. I'm like, hey, call Krista. Call Krista. You need to do another party for all of us. But and then Elaine's in the house. She's jumping in on the comments. You know, I'm gonna say something and just give you my thoughts because you said something there. I'm gonna tell you, man. I was in the nightclub business for 25 years. And I dominated for 25 years, did major concerts, made major celebrities. I mean, if I had an iPhone back then, the people that I would have exposed today or, the pictures that I would have exposed, yeah, man, I'd be rich right now. I'd be like, actually, you know what? It would just be a whole different level because just the amount of celebrities and people that came through our clubs and the things that we got to see and experience and good times. We didn't have much to document other than big old cameras that were so clumpy that it didn't really make a lot of sense. Now you got a little thing you put in your pocket. You're like, boom, you get that. You got your mobile everything on in your hands.
That's right.
But what I wanted to say is that in 2008, when the world turned upside down for me, and I got forced, the economy forced us to go into a mode where people weren't spending money in the nightlife industry anymore because it was either gas, food for their family and rent, or spending money. And even with all the people, because we were a high-end nightclub, even with the high-end people, when the stock market took a crash and the housing market took a crash, people weren't bringing their black card anymore to do bottle service. I mean, people would spend some silly money to have that experience. But for me, so 2008, 9, and 10 were very tough years for me. Because that's when I 2009, actually, October 2009, I'll never forget the month, is when I retired from the nightclub industry. I just, in my mind, I just fell out of love with what I was so passionately in love with, because there was nothing that I could create to turn that ship around, to get people to try to come on a consistent basis. So I shifted my energy. It was already on the third year. 2010 was the third year now of Detox Sundays. And on the third year, what I saw was that it picked up.
Yeah.
But we were still going through a recession. We were now entering the recession. So it really only lasted for about another year and a half before that market started to fall apart too, because people weren't spending money. They weren't going places anymore. I mean, even Las Vegas took a big hit. So the point is that I had to learn to reinvent myself, because all I knew was nightclubs, entertainment, and then I was doing real estate during the day. So I always tell people, it's like Bruce Wayne during the day and Batman at night, with my nightclubs. But both took a dive. Real estate took a dive, and then the nightlife took a dive. So now I find myself where I'm like, whoa. What do I do with myself? How do I reinvent myself? And then this is where we come as creative people. You've been in being in the radio. It takes creative, being behind a mic for 22 years and entertaining an audience for 22 years. That's a lot of creativity that you have in you. And plus being a musician, songwriter and all that, you have all this creativity. You got to pivot and you got to see, how do I reinvent myself? And I know that you're doing your music now. I know that with you songwriting, your experience has got to be inspiration for what you're writing. I mean, I would just say keep doing what you're doing, because it's all about like odds. The more you play the game, the more you stay in the game, the better your chances are of one of those, because all you need is one to blow up. And you just got to keep going. And we were talking backstage earlier about, the whole rock star mentality, and sometimes how bands fall apart because all the band members are not on the same page, just like a team. The teams are, you're only as good as your team. And unless even when you're a team and you decide you want to go solo, you'll start to see that the magic really happens when you're all together. But that doesn't stop you from reinventing yourself and saying, you know what, radio's changed. Radio's not going to ever be what it used to be ever again. I don't see it being like how it was back then anymore, period, because it just the way we market to people, we don't go street banner, we don't go guerrilla marketing anymore, because you can spend your money, instead of spending on those big roles, you can spend $10,000 on Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and you can canvas a whole different area now.
Right.
So with that said, and that knowing, take advantage of the opportunities. I mean, you're with an amazing group. You're still surrounded by some amazing people, and the radio industry is a small industry. We know that.
And thankfully, it's not hard for me to just be myself, and thankfully, I don't think I have anyway any kind of real baggage that puts me in a situation where people are like, oh yeah, that Morris dude, that guy. So getting over here with Bonneville now, and with Coit and with K Fox, working with people that I've actually worked with before. Joey V does mornings on K Fox. I've worked with him before, and just knowing who this powerhouse that Fresca is, dude. I'm working with Fresca. You freaking serious?
Wow.
And I've known her a long time, but I've never worked with her. And
I love Fresca, by the way.
And she has just blown up into this amazing, multi-talented broadcast radio force. And so I'm in, and back in the building with St. John. Yeah. Finally. So, a few people that I've worked with before, some friends from KBLX, Sterling, and my man Antoine, he's my cousin.
That's right, because Bonneville owns 99.7, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So you guys are all in the building then.
Yep.
So
he's up in there, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Mary Diaz, Mary Diaz used to do traffic for me back in the day when I was on KISS. She was over there and she was doing traffic. So when I saw her, it was crazy because COVID was up, and I ran up on her. I was like, "Oh damn, I can't hug you." It's like, "Oh, but it's Mary."
Oh, man, this we don't even want to go into this whole. We talked a little bit of politics in the backstage. We won't go into politics, but I just can't wait till this election is over. It's one of the most critical, most important elections, and people that are out there listening, please make sure to get involved. Register to vote, and make sure that everyone. I don't care what party you're at, just get there, get involved.
But before you make any kind of move, physical or otherwise, make a move with your brain.
Right, like common sense, research, man.
Educate yourself. Read a couple of things. Check out an issue from both sides, and then come to a conclusion. Don't just go on pure emotion. Don't just go just because you think it's what someone thinks you should be doing or saying or voting, or a side you should align yourself with, or any kind of movement. Please just do your homework, and it ain't even hard. It's Google. So the first couple of stories are right there. You'll find the truth, and whatever that truth is for you, if it fits, then go with that. But don't just start Xing off boxes because that's what you've always done. We're in a situation now in our world, in our country, where even me personally and professionally, I can't keep doing what I've always done. I think
what they call that, right? They call that insanity.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got to mix it up. You've got to try some new things. You've got to open your mind up to something that perhaps you never even considered before. That's all I want to say about that, man. People got to make up their own minds, and they got to do their own thing. And I think that no matter how it comes out, we got to realize that we're still all in this together. We're still all, Americans, no matter what freaking side you think you want to align yourself with. The most important thing is, man, we're all in the best country on earth. And, and we, no matter what your race is, or what you believe, or male or female, or sexuality, or any of that stuff, dude, screw all that. That's not the stuff we have in common, because we're human. We can't have that stuff in common, but the things that we can have in common are basically one word: love. And I hate to sound all cheesy and
no. Hold on. You're not being cheesy, because that's what it's all based down to. It comes down to love. Period. We gotta love what we do. We gotta love everybody. At the end of the day, Morris, I love you, bro. We're family, dude. At the end, we cut our fingers. We're gonna bleed the same color.
Yep.
The only difference that we have is the skin color, but that doesn't make me choose or judge you differently than anything else, my brother. And that is just, we had no choice in where we're at. We're here. We gotta love. Oh man, I get that, where it hits my heart, because love is, as I've gotten older and wiser, I've realized that if you don't put your heart and your love into things will never fruition. And
that's so true.
And
That's for sure.
if you hold on to anger and resentment and all of the hate that's being spewed out, and it's from all media, because all
Yeah.
media is doing it. Even radio does it, TV, everything does it. I mean, our social media does it. I mean, it just, because sometimes there is no controls, and then, or there's controls and there's certain ways that they skew. But at the end of the day, we got to learn to love each other, and and this is not the first time that we've had problems in this world, because
That's
this
right,
world
man.
has this world has got 2020 years prior to us.
Yeah.
And this is not the only difference, is that we got technology, and we can get information around the world much quicker now.
But
So
and the curse, actually,
yeah,
I see people, putting stuff out on social media. I stay away from it. I mean, I
oh,
use Facebook and Instagram for because it entertains me, and I want to
yeah,
put stuff out that I think that people might be interested in. But I've got dear friends who do take a stand, and whether I agree with every single thing that they say or not, and actually that's a point, because we can't possibly agree with every single thing someone says, whether you like them or not. You're not being truthful if you think you're going to agree with every single thing that someone says, whether you like them or not. But I do appreciate that there are people in my life, personally and professionally, that will take a stand, that
yeah,
will speak their mind. And you know what? And sometimes I look at them and they've got more guts than me even on that. Because, dude, I just, I you know what? I don't know if sometimes some of the things I think aren't necessarily mainstream. You know,
yeah,
that is kind of the blessing and curse of my life. Whereas how that's helped me be able to, communicate and relate to many different types of people, no matter where you are, no matter what race, what culture, what your beliefs are, where you're from, where you're at. I've been able to get along with anyone out there. But
yeah,
that's also because I can have compassion for people who don't necessarily think the things that I think. And
yeah,
there's some people out there who don't think things I would think, if that
yeah.
makes any sense.
No,
But
absolutely.
instead of focusing on the things that we have differences of opinion on, instead of thinking of focusing on things that tear us apart, why don't we think about the things that we have in common? Why don't we think about the things that bring us together?
Yeah,
Again, I hate to sound, there's so much cheesy stuff out there that people
no.
say, weird
Hey,
planet.
bro, listen, we already talked about the most cheesiest thing, your Coffee TV 20 show, bro. So it can't get any more fucking cheesier than that, my brother. And I still love you. I'm still here with you.
So I'm good.
So hey, dude, Cheese Whiz sells, bro. Trust me, Cheese Whiz and Spam sells. So
All right.
trust me, don't apologize. Cheesy, I'm telling you, cheese sells. So we're good here, man. We're good.
So then, so then,
I got no problem with cheese,
so then
man.
with that
So
said, it's all about focusing on the things that we have in common. And I truly believe that we have far, far, far more things that we have in common than the few little things that we don't have in common, that some people are trying to use as, these torches to try to divide us. And it's stupid, because we're probably talking about one or two, in the long run, insignificant issues for real. And that's just me.
let me
Yeah.
ask you, you being on radio for so many years, and now with the station that you're on, what is it? What kind of homework? What kind of because you gotta be able to entertain people while you're on your breaks. I mean, it's not just, how do you find your content? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, this has probably been one of the hardest things that I've done. But I love it because it's challenging, and I like the fact that I've been able to book guests all the way out into November already, past the
That's awesome,
elections
dude.
already too.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
no, I've the right now, the whole month of September is all entertainment. I started with, like I said, Mia Moore was on last week. I got you on this week. I got a local nightclub owner that's on next week. I got my boy Strange Love down out of Southern California,
Yeah.
who owns this. He has a bpmstation.com.
Nice.
That's a house music station,
Yeah. Yeah.
around the
Familiar.
world. And then at the end, we're closing it up with Jose Melendez. And then,
Ooh.
yeah, so it's going to be fun. It's a fun month. And then I'm going to go a little serious on November, because I started to think of programming. I want to program my month so that I have a theme. October for me, even though it's important because it's right before the elections. So I have people that are running for local office. I have a couple of commentators.
That's dope,
So
man.
so I want to, because I want to get, we're going to ramp up right before the election, and I'm going to say that, hey, I'm going to do my part to do whatever I can to push people to get out there and vote, and to not let this fear mongering happening where they're talking about, oh, no voting on mail. But what is it that you do to keep yourself relevant on radio? Because, bro, at the end of the day, you've been on the radio 25 plus years now.
Been on the radio exactly
30 years. 30 years. Yeah, today. Yeah, you said it. 30 years.
Yeah. Just there isn't any one thing. It's funny because after iHeart ended for me, I was off the radio for about 3.5 months, and then I got picked up by Bonneville to do weekends, and I was a little out of sorts, believe it or not, man. That was the very first time in my entire radio career that I've been off the radio for longer than 5 days straight. And nope. There was a 10-day vacation I had taken a couple years ago because I do because I'm only good at the things that I love, and I do what I love, and thankfully I'm very blessed and lucky to be able to do that. So when I got back in with Bonneville, I was a little out of sorts, and I'm trying to find my way around the formatics and what they do at Bonneville in particular, at Coit in particular. And so I called Fresca. I was like, dude, like, what do I say? And dude, she was extraordinarily, supportive and gracious. She's like, dude, you're Morris Knight. Just do what you've been doing, and you're good. And so it allowed me to just kind of take a step back, and because dude, you're never too old to learn. I don't care what kind of pro you are. It's never 100%. Too late to get something new, to get a new tip from any source, be it someone who's a seasoned veteran who's been doing it twice as long as you, or someone who just got in the game just a couple months ago. They're always going to have the perspective that you don't have, and it's quite possibly it could be a very valuable learning experience for you. Yeah. So as far as how I prepare, it's just really just being alive in these moments that we're in, and thinking about. And I'm not saying this is what works for everybody, but just how I'm able to put myself on the radio is just it. Hey, I'm someone's dad. I have a lot going on in my personal life that I share. I have a lot going on in the things that I love. Musically. I don't know, man. I think that like I was saying earlier, because I was raised in a lot of different situations. I've been able to get along with a lot of different types of people, no matter where you're from, no matter what you believe or how old you are.
You're a fucking rock star. That's why, dude. You're a fucking rock star. Boom. You know how to fucking entertain. You know how to bring out excitement. You know how to make people feel good. Your voice when you sing. Come on, man. I think you're being too modest. And honestly, you have a lot of greatness in you, man. You got a lot of great years under your belt. And I think, again, Morris, with all due respect, because I love you and I respect you, my brother, but it's time to fucking spread out your wings, my brother. And like an eagle, I don't know if you saw my post today, the only bird that fucks with an eagle is a crow. And what does an eagle do? He doesn't fight back. He doesn't let it bother them. All he does is open up his wings and goes higher and higher. By the time that eagle gets to a certain height, the crow can't breathe anymore and he just falls off. And if we use that as an analogy for ourselves, you have a platform right now, radio. You have many, many, many years of a past. You got to start doing your Morris Knight Live. I'll give you the name right now, bro. That's freebie right there. Morris Knight Live, live on Facebook and YouTube. You got to start doing your content, building it up along with your music. I mean, I haven't heard any of your new content in music. I know you're into the rock music, and I know that I was a big fan of yours when you were Morrison and you were doing your house music. I was probably one of your number one fans in the South Bay because I always wanted to book you because it was the shit. I loved it. I mean, it was positive. It was positive energy. Yeah, and it fell in line with what we did, and that's really at the end of the day what I'm telling you, man. You have been very blessed to still be in radio, and I know I've told some of my friends that gotten back in radio, man, this is your opportunity to take it to the next level, because you don't know where radio is going to be, and I would say, build your followers, build your audience on social media, and take it to the next level. Because at the end of the day, and then here comes the entrepreneurship in me, the businessman. Learn to monetize it. Morris Knight is a brand. I mean, if you want to become partners, I'll give you the business plan, man. So,
hey, I'm in.
Hey,
Things Mauricio, I just do, like I was saying, it's not just a thing I say. I literally have, adult ADD, and they didn't know what that was when I was a kid, and I was all into a bunch of different things, and now I know what that is. And long story short, I found out I discovered that about myself at a parent-teacher meeting with my son's teacher, and they were telling us about how he was behaving in class, which reminded me of myself. And she's like, your son might have ADD. I was like, wait a minute, that's how I am right now. So I'm into a lot of different things just because I love to do it. And it would be great to be able to exploit that better than I have done in my life. To be quite honest with you, I'm really terrible at self-promotion in that regard, because I just do it. It's not like I've been planning these things all my life. It's not like I woke up one day and said, I think I want to get into music. I want to get into radio. It was always a thing where, people ask me, how old were you when you first realized, that you were, that you really got into music, and I always say, honestly, quite honestly, I never got into music. I never, ever got into music. I came in the world that way. My mom was a teenager when she was pregnant with me, and she never stopped partying when she was a teenager.
Fuck, what is she had a star coming out of her, bro? I mean, Jesus. I mean,
I don't know what she was. Her and my
star hasn't burned
house parties and stuff. But at the end of the day, music was always something that was in me. I never really got into music. It was always in me. So that crossed all types of genres of music, and it brought me into contact with many different types of people and experiences. And it was never, so with all those things, I just love doing them. And but one of the things I'm not very good at is self-promotion. Getting the word out. And it's funny, I was having a conversation with Big Fawn like a couple of years ago. He was one of the dudes who's like, why do you keep all this stuff separate? He was asking me about my house music. I was like, yeah, dude, I don't really do house music anymore. I'm just doing my rock now. And he's like, Big Von. Hey, Mojo. I was like, oh, yeah. You're joking.
Big Von's on. Is he on? Is he still doing XM Radio? I think didn't he graduate to XM Radio or series or?
I thought still, okay. But at the time, anyway. Yeah. And long story short, he was like, no, dude, you should be using all of this. You shouldn't be separating. This was like a couple years after you had called me, Mauricio, to do another detox party. And I was like, oh, man, I'm doing rock now, dude. And changing up. I remember telling that.
I remember you said it to me, and I go, why?
And I told him on that story, and he was like, that's ridiculous, man. You should be using all of that under one umbrella. It should be Morrison or Morris Knight, and you do house, you do TV, and you do radio, and you do rock, and you do all, soulful house and disco house and all that stuff. And I remember just sitting there looking at him like, well, I mean, like, how are these people going to be able to put all that in one bag and think that one dude is doing all that? How are some of those people going to even understand that that's me for real and not just something I'm doing for the moment? And he's like, first of all, don't even trip like that. Who cares?
I was just gonna say, man, that's the fucking voice in your head talking shit to you right now.
Yeah,
or telling you like, hey, don't do that. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I've been an entrepreneur my entire life. I juggle multiple businesses. I have a friend of mine who calls me a master juggler, and
I call you the mayor.
The mayor, yeah. So for me, it's I have staffing. That's my bread and butter company. I got commercial construction. I got real estate development. I got my media company. I got my personal, my books. I have my speaking engagements. I have Mauricio Mejia Live. Mauricio Mejia Live is just all it is just I couldn't get a much more creative than Mauricio Mejia Live, because really that's what it is. We're live, and I didn't want to have to get super, I had to give it a name when really it's just me, a guest, and we're live. Simple.
Yeah.
But I have all of these under my belt, and one of the things that I've mastered is to keep myself organized and do infrastructure, because And then I have a master list of all my stuff. So because I can't remember, I'm not going to be able to remember everything. So I got to keep myself organized. And I think Morris, I think one of the things that, again, you have such an amazing talent and you have such amazing reach here in the Bay Area, and worldwide, because of all the different peoples you've touched, is somehow pulling all the strings together and kind of reverse engineering all of this, making a list. And again, I'm being mentor to you. I'm being coach, business coach, because I see. Hey, put me in. Yeah, well, because I see a lot of great talent and a lot of greatness that you have, and I think, again, you having such a legacy here in the Bay Area, I think there's a lot of opportunities to do things, and right now, especially during this COVID time, people that didn't take advantage. Again, I'm on week number 22. Week 22, my show has, if I look at week number 1, I'm embarrassed, but week 22 has gotten, and it continuously gets better and better. I'm nonstop, man. I'm always going to grow, and I'm always going to, I'm going to recalibrate myself every day. The last 30 days, actually the last 60 days, I've been going through some crazy, just like in my mind, like get those voices in my head too, that like, just because the world is shifted. But at the end of the day, when I recalibrate myself and I check myself and I'm like, no, this is where we're going. This is where I'm going to go. That's how I wrote my book, Decide, Commit, Execute. I just had another friend of mine that reminded me, say, hey, didn't you write a book called Decide, Commit, Execute? She goes, you need to start practicing your own. I'm like, whoa, like, sometimes we get lost in our own sauce, man. And, part of tonight's conversation is maybe we touched on something that we can revisit or visit together as a team. And you never know, man. I just I see opportunity, and
I'm going to leave that to you, man. I'm going to let you, and that's the arena that I've kind of been able to thrive in. I see myself more as a soldier than a general. I'm a soldier that can do a lot, though. I can do it all, 100%. What a general does is lay out the plan about how we're going to put all these tools, all these weapons together and attack, and
right.
and come up with a win. But I'm the guy that's got everything you need,
right.
I
would be like a kid in a candy store with you, bro. I'd be like, oh yeah, I got this.
I'm having so much fun though, dude, that doing these things that come natural to me, because I've never had any formal training in any of it. These are just things that come to me naturally, and when I think about how to apply them on another level like that, Mauricio, quite frankly, man, it's a little overwhelming. And so that's when people like yourself, or people who have discovered me or given me opportunities, Michael Erickson, Ricky Filiar, Bob Lewis, Adam Smasher from Quad, these other people, Craig Coane, Mark Baker, and now Brian Fig, these people who have given me these opportunities to do what just kind of comes naturally to me, man, and I try and just give it my all, because that's the part that I'm good at. I'm good at that. The rest, I maybe I could be a lot further along if I had that extra thing that allows me to promote my own self a lot more. But
I'm not trying to put you in a box here, man.
For me to kind of the saying is toot my own horn. I don't know, man.
You got to, because I'm going to tell you,
I really appreciate everyone else doing and what they have done for me and saying what they have. Remember earlier when we were talking about one of the very first records I ever put out in the house music scene, Love of My Life, and I was trying to remember everyone that was totally influential in that, along with St. John and Leslie Perez and and DJ Hope. The dude finally came to my mind, Felipe Avalar, dude. That guy,
bro. He's amazing.
I just have in my mind blown, because I'm like, this kid doesn't even. I'm a lot older than him. He's like, I don't even know this guy, and he's like digging this record that I did, and it was, again, it's because of him and his belief in my record that it became what it became. Actually, dude, I actually scored a Billboard chart in 2004, a few years after all that went down, because of the support that I got from all those guys. I didn't want to leave him out. Felipe, see you, man.
Hey, I saw Felipe jump on board, and I got to tell you, Felipe is an amazing one. He's an amazing human
I
being.
haven't
He's got
seen
an
him in a
amazing.
minute. He might have 100 kids now.
Yeah, he's got an amazing talent, and he's an amazing DJ, producer too, and his house music ear. He's got a great ear.
Yes, he
There's
does.
a lot of influences. I like to think that I was one of his influences. Being that he used to come to my parties when I first moved up to the Bay Area to Los Angeles.
Really?
From Los Angeles. Yeah, I mean, I used to do when I came up here, I used to do a party called Groovy Sundays, and then I did the Groove, and they were all ages.
Oh, wow.
So they were like teen parties, man. But it was a sophisticated teen party. It was like you had to come dressed up and you had to be cool in order to get in.
No ball.
But yeah, no, I mean it was strict. It was about the music, and I came from the music the way that I was educated on music is there was no color lines. Growing up in LA, there was Latinos, blacks, Asians, whites, gay, straight, transgender. There was drag queens. I mean, the parties that was the fun. That was the fun parties because everybody came in and everyone added flavor to the party, and it was just one of those things where it was eye candy. There was always something exciting. I mean, imagine you see a 7-foot tall drag queen, just amazing, just costume walking in, and just comes in with this attitude. You're just like, I mean, it was just an amazing experience. So when I brought that experience to the Bay Area, where we brought a lot of the house DJs from LA, and that sound that just there was a lot of great people that got to come through that nightlife experience. And again, I love to me the Bay Area became home. I never went back to LA, even though part of my heart is in LA. To me, the Bay Area, San Jose is my home. I love being able to say that I live in the heart of the Silicon Valley, downtown San Jose, and I get to have met people like you and all the great people that have been on my show, because most of them are relationships that I was able to nurture and cultivate here in the Bay Area. So I'm just excited, and that's why when I'm listening to you and right now you're on a great radio station on two stations, or are you on one?
Two.
Yeah,
Coit and K Fox Southeast Classic Rock.
There you go. Man, we're gonna do some stuff. I'm definitely gonna put this one down as like, all right, I got to do a follow up here and see how I can mentor.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna tell you, no, it's crazy. I'm gonna give a shout out to my boy Marshall Jones. We were just talking about it, and he's like, Mauricio, you need to get someone from your show, and you need to like make it like almost like a starting point, and then come back in a few weeks or a few months later and do a follow up, because I see right now a perfect opportunity. I'm going through a lot of a stage right now where I'm developing my brand. I just teamed up, great human being, John J. Serrato.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
John J. is it was by and I don't believe in coincidences. It just happened that he's doing all my branding now. Some of my you'll start seeing he's helping me with my brand, and they just took my brand from here to here. Like it just by simple by the conversation and the vibe that we felt.
Yeah.
And his background in radio, I mean, he goes way back. And I look at a picture of him, I'm like, man, this guy looks young, but he started at a young age too in the industry.
Yeah.
So I built that team. I got my website that I'm building. I got my books. I mean, I'm sure that if I put you with a writer to write your book, you'd have a bestseller, man. Because again, Morris Knight, you got a story, bro. You got a story that you need to share with the world, and that goes to my question, because I know we can talk. Hey, we can talk here for 2 hours, bro.
Graph, you understand?
we can go on for 2 hours. I one of the guys that I love is Joe Rogan, and I model my show after Joe Rogan. Aside from being that we have to be virtual right now, but when we get out of this COVID, I'm going to build a studio in my new office where I'm going to have guests, if possibly to come down and we do the show in person. But that's one of my inspirations. But going back to you,
really write a book. Dude, I honestly have never thought of that. That's wow. That's something interesting.
Why not? 22 years of radio. You can't tell me 10 chapters of you picked 10 years, every year is a chapter. I mean, I could, and these are the things, again, I didn't just learn overnight. I mean, I worked with a ghostwriter. Shireen Rivera was my writer who helped me put my book together, Smoke and Mirrors. Smoke and Mirrors is not about nightclubs. I mean, there's touches of nightclubs, but it's about what we created when you went to the nightlife, and then the persona that we create as this person in nightlife. So I'll send you a copy, man. Send me your address, and
Sure.
I just ordered a bunch of new copies. I'll sign it and send it out to you. I'll send you my business book too. It's a short read. If you can knock it out in a day or in a couple of days. I did a chapter. I made it so it's easy writing, big fonts, and you can do a chapter a day.
You got pictures? You got pictures?
No pictures. But I put a bunch of big graphics in there to give you extra. I needed to fluff it up, smoke and mirrors. But there's the life of Morris Knight in radio. I mean, there's so much that you can talk about just because you have so much, again, history that you can share. So that goes back to what I want to ask you. It's one, people can find you on your social media. What are your social media handles? Are you on
Twitter and Instagram at Morris Knight?
Okay. And then
and of course Facebook. People have me on Facebook. Morris Knight on the radio.
Good. And then and you're on both. You're on 2 Bay Area stations. You're on
96.5 KOIT on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then also on 98.5 KFOX, South-based classic rock. And I do that Saturdays and Sundays also from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Awesome,
nice.
Dude. I'm having the time of my life. The only thing that can get better is I can, get in there a whole lot more on the radio, a whole lot more. However they work it out. But
I'll tell you right now, man. When we get back to some normality, I think KFOX would be an amazing station to work with for us to do some promotions, some classic rock concerts.
Yeah, dude.
I think definitely. Who's promotion director? Is that? I don't want to say the wrong. I want to say it's my boy Carlos Pedraza.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Carlos. Yes.
All right. All right, that's what I just because when they broke up, I'm like, wait, Carlos, if you're out there listening, I think we definitely got to get together, and when the world gets back on its feet, we got to do some classic rock concerts, because I would love to do a rock of the '80s, rock of the '90s, rock of the 2000s, like with some classic bands, and I know that these guys, when they come out of COVID, they're gonna be hungry to pay some bills, so we ain't gonna be paying no crazy amounts, but. Share with me and we'll wrap it up, because we've gone. I mean, again, we can keep going, but share with me, what is the message that you would want people to know? Going through your life experiences, and you've been blessed and you've had some opportunities and some great opportunities. But what's been that formula for you? Which for me, as I've always said, being consistent and focused and putting the work behind it is what's allowed me to get to where I'm at. What's been your formula for your success?
Formula. Oh man, I don't know if I have a formula. All I have is me. So I remember something a couple of friends of mine told me back in the day when I was in high school. I've always been a maniac Prince fan. And back in high school, that manifested itself all the way to the point of me trying to dress like Prince back then, which was kind of ridiculous because I'm as tall as I am. And anyway, it was bad.
Yeah. That's why you're the host for Coffee TV's 20th Dance Party. See?
Right.
They found a picture of you and they say, you know what? This guy has no fear.
Right.
No fear.
Exactly. One of the most important things that someone said to me way back then was, man, be yourself. If you are being yourself and things are happening for you, that's the formula. That's why they're happening for you. Mauricio, these things that you do are actually in your DNA. These aren't things that you're concocting up that make you who you are, the businessman, the entrepreneur that you are, all the things that you're into. These are things that even when Mauricio comes up with something brand new, no one's surprised by it. They're like, oh, yep, that's Mauricio. No one's surprised because that's who you are. That's in your DNA. And all this time, it's been working for you. No. That is what's worked for me, is being able to just, I can't front. There's many different, aspects to me, to who I am, be it old school, DJ for Kiss FM back in the day, or the 80s guy on the radio, or the classic rock guy on the radio, or the dance party, whatever it is, or the rock guy in a couple of rock bands around town, or putting out my own rock music, or whatever it is. These are things that just come to me naturally, and I'm having a great time doing it. And because I'm having a great time doing it, I believe that is what people can tell if you're faking it. And the fact that I just try to be I can't even try to be real. I'm just being me.
No, you're being authentic, man, and that's key.
The authenticity, and quite frankly, I like a lot of things about me, and one of the things I like about me the most is, man, I'm not hard to hang out with, dude. I like being around people. I like hanging around people and talking to people, and I don't put on any kind of airs. I'm not better than anyone. There's always something I can learn from someone else, even if it's something I didn't think I'd be down with the first time I check it out. I take a second look, and maybe I still won't dig it, but at least I'll appreciate it. I just think being cool, man. And I don't mean being cool, popping college, being cool like that. No. Just be a cool person, man. There's enough jerks out there. We don't need to add to that population. Just be cool and be yourself, and good things will come. Good things will come their way, or you'll walk right into them, but it'll work. That's what's worked for me. It's not a formula. It just works for me, man. No matter in good times and even in the darkest of my days, dude, I will never forget the day that they told me it was over for me at iHeart, January 15th, dude. That day came like a sledgehammer to the head. But for some reason, dude, I just, as sad as I was about that, I wasn't mad. I had an awesome time and made some great friends, and God damn it, I just, I just be cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you my what I just saw right now, and I'm gonna tell you, you got a lot of love and passion for what you do, and you're authentic about it. So those three things, love, passion, and authenticity, is what's been your formula. I picked it up just from what you just said right now, and I think that people have said to you, continue to do what you do, because that's what you know how to do naturally, and it comes out of you naturally. So that's why you have been blessed and continue to be blessed and have the things that you have. Now, what happens is you get in a environment with me or around people that are mindsets are business, and we then look at that talent and see how do we take it to the next level. And why? Because at the end of the day, you want to enjoy life on a different level, and you want to be compensated for your great talents and for the things that you can do and the impact, because talent makes an impact. All those years that you were at that radio station and at the stations that you're at, you're continuing to make an impact, and that's why you're still doing radio, because your voice resonates in this region. Now, hey man, you're with a great company. I know that they got more stations, and you might want to start thinking about how to simulcast yourself on other shows. Not just be stuck here in the Bay Area, because again,
that'd be a terrible thing. Let's just be stuck in the Bay Area. Who wants that?
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey, the Bay Area is expensive to live in too, brother. So you pick up a couple of those markets out there and get and you got 10, 20 markets out there. You're simulcasting and you're getting paid for that.
Absolutely,
that adds up.
And doing a lot of things that I do here in the Bay Area, the radio and TV, even the Soundwaves TV, that thing is happening where it's all about. It's all about a show that showcases and highlights, local Bay Area talent here. I do that with Shasta and Dennis and Steven. And actually, that's going to start airing on Coffee TV this Saturday at midnight. Just putting a focus on the Bay Area music scene, the indie scene that's thriving here. But people, a lot of people don't know that it's going on, even despite COVID. So, it's definitely one of those things where I definitely try to, I try to look ahead, look beyond, try and take it to the next level. That's the part of me that's kind of lacking, Mauricio, and that's where your personality, your type of personality, your type of mindset, dude. I guess I'm an artist, and I don't want to think about out of the box stuff in that way. I just think about the stuff that I can actually get my hands on physically. and put my mind towards that. Just really being in contact with people and relating to people right where they are on their level or on my level or wherever we are in the middle. And trying to exploit that and take that to the next level. I would definitely be interested in that. I would definitely need help in that regard because, like I said earlier, I'm not the world's greatest Morris Night promoter.
Well, I have some great ideas, and I just made some notes. I do a one sheet for all my shows, and I'm gonna use you as my one of my experiments, and
Okay.
I want to see where
Oh, great.
yeah, no, it's I see a lot of great things, and I can definitely see where you can be plugged into a bunch of great things. Because again, the talent that you have and so forth. But look, we can keep going, and again, I just we're gonna follow up. I'm gonna follow up. That's gonna be my job because I definitely I think that there's some great opportunities, and then you'll be able to tell me, hey, I'm cool with this, or hey, I'm comfortable where I'm at, and we'll see which one feels better. It's either you grow or you're comfortable where you're at. So, and that's what I like to do is I like to challenge people because we need it.
I'd like to be comfortable, but my ADD won't let me be comfortable. So I'm always up for a challenge. I'm always up for the next thing, whatever that is, because right now I've got the time to fill. So let's go get it, as they say. Let's do it.
Let's do it, my brother. So good. Well, great. Morris Night tonight. I want to say thank you, man, for being here on the show. I apologize. We went over our normal hour, but I did tell you that, when the shows go longer, man, people just, they get glued to it like a TV show, and then they'll watch it and they'll do it on the replays, and we'll see all the feedback that we get.
Okay.
I want to thank you again, man, for taking the time this evening. And we're gonna definitely follow up. We're gonna do some future stuff. And anything you want to leave the audience with? The last words. Be cool.
Be cool. Be cool. And let your dreams take over your life. Don't let life take over your dreams. That's something I used to say a long time ago, and it still holds true to this day, man. Just what? Let's keep having fun, dude. Don't let all the negative stuff get in our way and divide us, man. Let's focus on the party at hand.
There you go. I love it, man. I love it. I'm gonna put you backstage, and then as soon as I wrap it up here, I'll jump backstage and we'll wrap up the show. Is that cool?
Thank you for everything that you've done for me in the past, and even now, Mauricio. I really appreciate you, brother. One love, man.
Oh, thank you, my brother. Thank you for being here, and I look forward. It's not the show's not over, bro. We still got a bunch of more. We still got a lot more shows ahead of us. So trust me, I got some ideas that are going. So I want to thank you again for being here, and I'll follow up with you backstage.
Right on, man.
Thank you, my brother. Wow, what an amazing interview tonight. I want to thank Morris Night for taking the time out of his evening and sharing it with all of us worldwide. Thank you again for everyone that tuned in, all the comments. I'm going to go back and reply to all the comments. I want to just, again, this is good. I love I love the direction that the show's going, and just want to again thank everyone for the support. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. on the West Coast, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. I know that we got people that watch us in Mexico, Central America, South America. There's a 2-hour difference. So again, I want to just say thank you for all of you guys to send me your comments and even topic points. Send me some topic points of what you guys want to talk about so that we can hit them here. I want to remind everyone that next week I got my boy DJ Isaac B. He's a local entrepreneur, nightclub owner, industry pioneer, and I'm looking forward to having him on the show next week. And then on the 23rd, I got my boy DJ Strangelove out of Southern California. He is the founder of bpmstation.com. You can visit that website. Amazing human being. It just seems like I'm just surrounded by amazing human beings. I say that about everyone, but I mean it. I don't just say it just to say it. I mean it from my heart. The people that I want to bring on the show, I want them to be amazing human beings and to make an impact in the world. And that's the focus. And then closing up the month, we're going to have a good friend of mine, DJ Jose Melendez, who used to work with me. We had many, many great years together in the nightclub industry, and we're going to share some stories, and hopefully he doesn't bust me out on some of the craziness. But again, thank you all for joining Mauricio Mejia Live. I like to leave with some positive words, and I want to encourage everyone again to make sure and vote. So thank you again.
Smoke and Mirrors is the book from entrepreneur, public speaker, and now author Mauricio Mejia. Mauricio takes us on his journey spanning over 25 plus years in the nightlife industry and growing up as a kid in the tough part of town on the streets of Los Angeles. Plus, newly released, The Entrepreneur's Quick Guide, Decide, Commit, Execute. Order your copy today on Amazon, Smoke and Mirrors, and the newly released Decide, Commit, Execute.
We the people. Our Constitution begins with those three simple words. Words we've come to recognize mean all the people, not just some. Words that insist we rise and fall together. That's how we might perfect our union. But it will only happen if we work together. So my fellow Americans, whatever you may believe, whether you prefer one party or no party, our collective futures depends on your willingness to uphold your duties as a citizen, to vote,